Hi guys, how we doing? Welcome back to the Three Hammers podcast. Here as always with Luke and Lee. Episode 32 this week. How we doing?
Good mate. Let's start the show with someone else. I believe is 32 today. Lee thinks he's 33, but I'm not sure. The legend, no bad word against this man on this show. Colton Cole is 32 years young today. Happy birthday from the Three Hammers. I'm sure you're watching. Colton. I'm sure you're watching. 32 shows, guys. I had a laugh and a joke with Lee this morning. So much for 12 episodes and a Christmas special. We've carried on well past the sell-by date. Some people might
he is 33, by the way. He is
33. He's 33. Okay, 33 for Colin. Obviously, international break, guys. Not much going on, but there has been a few bits and bobs that we can add in and talk about. Let's start with Mikel Antonio, guys. Been picked now for England. Been on the bench for 3 games and still yet to come on the pitch. What do we think, guys?
Well, I never expected him to play, to be honest. I never did. I said right from the start, I haven't watched any of the games because my only interest would be if Antonio played, and I knew you weren't going to, so I didn't even bother.
I watched none. I kept popping in and out of the room, asking like, "Oh, is Antonio coming yet? Antonio come on yet?" No. And I was waiting for one of you to text and go, "Oh, Antonio's on," but no, I had no interest. I had more interest watching France versus Hollah match where Dimitri Payet was just taking the mick. I think he was told, "Go on and nutmeg as many people as you can." That's how well he was playing. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
The thing with Antonio, I did watch the game, and Jesse Lingard played right in the first one. I can't even know where he played against, and that was so rubbish. Malta. And then was shocking last night. In the other one, Slovenia or Slovakia, whichever one it was. And Theo Walcott was shocking in both games. So if he wasn't going to come on in that situation, then what was the point in taking him? Mm-hmm. I think a bit of me still thinks it weren't Southgate's squad. I think it was Allardyce's squad.
It'll be very interesting to see if he's in the next one. Next squad. You called it a few weeks ago, actually. You didn't say it on this show, but you called it in conversation with us, that you're probably more likely for Andros Townsend to come in, and he wasn't even in the original squad. He was a backup player, and he come on ahead of Antonio. What does that say? What does that say about the England team?
Yeah, that's a joke.
Do you know something? I quite like Andros Townsend. I mean, he's a good
player. I like him.
So, from that perspective, I think he probably one of the few in there that actually deserved to be in the squad. But Antonio deserved the chance, and he's deserved the chance of the way he's played. He's basically, he's been our best player, I think, or certainly goal scorer as well. It's like when you want a goal, you want as many players on that pitch that can get you a goal. And I think any manager worth their salt would have brought him on. I don't think Southgate's a good manager. He's
and put me wrong if you think so, guys. But in my opinion, goals are form based. If you're in form, scoring goals, you'll score goals in any team. Like you don't just. You don't just stop scoring goals because you're playing in a different team. You go in fits and spurts.
It's like the thing with Theo Walcott, for example, and I'm going to prove I've not got claret and blue blinkers on. He's had a good season with Arsenal. He scored a lot of goals, so he deserved to be in the squad. But he was shocking. He was shocking. He shouldn't have played. I think he played about 70 minutes yesterday, 60, 70 minutes, and he did nothing. Absolutely nothing. Same can be said for Lingard. I don't think he's had that good a season, but he's in the squad because Southgate knows him from the under-21s, I think. I've just contradicted myself saying it was Allardyce's squad, but anyway, we'll ignore that.
I think a few subtle changes, but on the basis, I would say 90% of that team was Sam Allardyce had already picked that team.
And the other thing, and I put a tweet out about this that annoyed me. Southgate after the game come out and said, "I've inherited a shambles," but you're playing the same team and you've got the same squad mate.
Yes, so
you can't come out and say, so make changes. Like Gary Cahill, and I like John Stones, another player. I think is a good little player. And it's just strange that Gary Cahill's had a shocking last few games for Chelsea, yet he starts for England. And if it worked for Joe Hart yesterday, they would have lost about 3-0 in the end. So, a lot to be said.
Do we think Antonio will get a chance? I don't think he'll be in the next squad, if I'm honest.
It's a similar situation.
Especially if that form doesn't improve. Because they can use that as an excuse then.
It's a similar situation to when he signed for us. Just imagine if Payet, Lanzini, Moses, who else? Valencia hadn't got injured beginning of last season. He would never have got a look in.
No. They wouldn't have. No.
And the only reason he got looking is because all those players got injured. So again, I think the only way he's going to start an England game, or indeed come on, is if there's a major injury crisis.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think he's been that good the last couple of games for us.
No. He was out of sorts the last couple of games. But the way it exploded this season in a really poor team, he deserved the chance. He did.
You know, the thing that annoys me is, like, with Lingard and Rashford, for example, they're young players, and being in the squad is good for their development. Antonio is, 26, 27?
Yeah.
He's not a kid. I can't see there being any benefit other than being around Champions League players telling them, come and play for us, win the Champions League. Is the only thing I can see. But I can see no benefit to him being called up if you're not going to use him. There's no point. Absolutely no point whatsoever.
No, he could have been at West Ham doing some of the training with our boys like they've been doing. I've sort of touched on Payet. Payet did get another goal and an assist. It wasn't in the Holland game. It was in the game before, wasn't it? It was sort of like a cross-turned goal. Another great performance, just taking the mick with his form for France at the minute. Hopefully it pushed him on to do some more for West Ham.
Do you know what I was thinking as well the other day? We must have, and I was thinking this, I was looking for all the fixtures and I was looking at the lineups. In the Premier League, we must have one of the fewest international starters. I hadn't quite clicked in my head. It's only Payet in our entire squad, Payet and Randolph, that start for their countries. In our entire Premier League, the 7th best side in the Premier League last season.
Reed not start?
Oh, Reed. Sorry, but that's... Yeah, I think I could get in that squad.
Check start?
Oh, Coyote as well. All right, but 4 then. It's still not many, though, is it? You've got people like...
No, it's not.
The point of it, it's still not many. And it's just, are we that good?
I know there's played a poor side, guys, but did any of you catch any of the Martin Samuelsson highlights?
I saw the goal.
Yeah, he was some lovely skills and really nice goal. Well done to him. A lot of people are saying, like, why did he even go out on loan? Like, this is a guy that looked very, very special. For me, though, I think he did need another year. No,
he did. He did look good in pre-season.
In the pre-season, he looked very lightweight.
Yeah, Paul, you called it. I think on this show, you said he didn't look that good in a couple of the pre-season games. And actually, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter today saying about why is him and Josh Cullen, etc., out on loan when the squad actually it's a completely different kettle of fish. You can't expect those players to be thrown into the Premier League. I would have liked to have seen Cullen.
I would like to have seen Cullen. I think someone like Cullen might have done a good job, actually, because he looked like a real busy midfielder that would get a tackle in. I think Cullen could have had a chance to play, actually.
I think the biggest problem we've had this season so far is we have been trying to do too many things. We've been chucking players in all over the place. We haven't had a settled team.
No, and I still think Slav doesn't know his team, to be honest.
But we have not had a settled team. Like, the defence has changed every week. The strike has changed every week. At half time, someone comes off every week. How are you supposed to build any form together when the team is changing so much? I think he does need to decide who he wants to play and stick with it for a few games and try and get some cohesiveness together.
Definitely. Last touch on internationals, guys. A player that's not with us at the moment, but Enner Valencia, guys. What did you make of that? Whatever that was that happened, that faked an illness, got chased by the police. Like, what is that about, guys?
It was bizarre.
It doesn't explain a lot about what his form was about at West Ham, possibly.
Well, when I read the statement he put out afterwards, I did kind of think, my word, you've had a lot on your plate. I know he's a rich man, I know he's a Premier League footballer, but it's still a mental stress that he's been under, and I can kind of get it. And in fact, last night, all that's now come out, and he scored 2 goals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Read into that what you want.
No, that's right. That's what I thought as well. I thought, has that been playing on your mind? Sort of thing that can affect the form of even these players that are at top levels. So that's it for the internationals. Again, no England news as always, but moving on, guys, some really, really positive news and sort of news that we've been needing. The next thing I've got on the agenda, guys, says returning injuries, and obviously the best news I've seen is that Cresswell has started to get some minutes under his belt and he looks like he's running around.
Yeah, they posted a video, didn't
they? Huge for me.
They posted a video of him shooting and a little smile came to my face because I just don't think we appreciated how much we miss him. I really don't. I think, and we were all guilty of it here, saying about Musaku and how he was good.
No, Musaku is a good player, though, mate.
He is a good player, but he's not. In hindsight, we have missed Cresswell massively this season. He provides balance. He
links up very well with Payet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he allows Payet to do what he does. Cresswell does a lot of that off the ball running where he'll go for the overlap, knowing he's never probably 40% of the time he's going to get the ball, but he does it because then that frees up space for Dimmy to do his magic, and maybe, hopefully, pray God, we start seeing that again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Saturday's a bit too close for him? Let's not go into detail, Palace. Just Cresswell only. Is it a bit too close for him to be starting on Saturday, or will he come on? Do you think?
It's not really a position where you see players come on, is it, at fullback? But I don't think we should rush him back. That's the worst thing we could do.
I wouldn't. I think Sunderland's a more important match in the next couple of weeks. I think Palace, again, we'll look a bit more into that. And the Carroll guys, also apparently very close, maybe about another week behind of Cresswell. But again, Lee, I will give it to you. He's going to be a massive input. We need him. We do. We need someone who's just like Andy is the sort of guy you do need in a dogfight because he's old school. He's an old school footballer. He likes a row. He likes to get his elbows here, there, and everywhere. So, what do we think about Andy Carroll come back?
I can't wait, but I'm just concerned he's going to come back and get injured again. But I'd like to think that someone who was I reading about the other day? Oh, that was Sacco. Sorry, ignore that. I'll come to that in a minute.
That was what I was going to say as well. Actually, Sacco apparently. Was it Sunderland he could be back?
Yeah, no, I got the two mixed up. But I read the other day that it's apparently the first time in 2 years he's not on painkillers. Is what I read the other day. Sacco.
Yeah, oh, really?
But he's back. Yeah, but he's been playing painkillers for his back for 2 years.
Yeah, so now he's had a proper rest, and for all we know, all this stuff about injury may be true.
Yeah, I know. Well, Paul said that he didn't think he'd ever see him play in a West Ham shirt again, but I'm getting more and more that I think we will.
I think that shows how desperate we are.
Yeah.
That shows how desperate we are and the state that we're in. Because I think
someone had a question actually. I can't remember who it was, and I'm sorry if I don't say your name. But they said, "Is it quite sad and shows the position we're in that we're relying on 3 Sam Allardyce signings to save Slav, Cresswell, Carroll, Sacco?"
I don't think you just dismiss a squad because it's made by the previous manager. I think Allardyce came in and did a bit of a building job at West Ham and took a relegated side and built the squad. So no, I don't think so. I mean, we had good players at the side in the squad before what's his name, Bilic came. I'm a real fan. I don't know the manager's name. So no, I don't think it's a bad thing.
I don't know. I think it's a fair point, to be honest, because if you look at the signings that he's made this summer in particular. None of them have had any impact whatsoever on the team.
No, I don't think so.
So that don't look good. It really don't.
The transfer market, we've failed terribly. We've had a terrible transfer window. I don't get, people can butter it up, but it is terrible. Transfer window.
I do think as well, like we have been unlucky with injuries. Now, obviously, Torre is apparently out for 5 weeks or so. And then you hear that we're trying to send him back as well. But I mean, I do think it's been like that. We need a settled team, I really do. And I said last week, I honestly think if Caleri had played every week and he'd put his faith in Caleri, I think he would have scored a couple of goals by now. I really do.
He had interest. Caleri, did you read his interview the other day as well on the West Ham website? He's saying that he still believes he's going to come good, and he still believes he can. I don't think he said he can be Carlos, but he can emulate some of the stuff, I think, is the point.
Yeah, well, the thing is how long did it take Carlos to score?
Exactly. You have to look at that with Carlos. Like, again, Carlos was a totally different level player, but Carlos did not score until them last 7 games. So, and people do forget that. People forget that. Like, yes, he was quite influential, like in terms of he was very direct, but he didn't score. He 31 games before he didn't score. So. Yeah.
No, that's
some of the
definitely
best players in the world go through.
That's right, mate. Yeah.
That is one that I would like to see us put some faith into, because I do think he looks a good player. He's intelligent. He makes good runs. Zaza, I don't think it's going to work out, and I hate to say that.
It's a shame because I do like him. He really wants it, Zaza, as well. You can tell he really wants it.
I don't think it's going to work out, and he's Italian. I'd love to see an Italian striker do at West Ham, but I don't think it's going to work out. But Caleri, I really think there's a player there, and I would like to see us stick with him.
And like I say, we've still got Andre Ayew to come back that we all forget
That's
about.
Right, yeah.
The partnership I'm looking forward to seeing is Ayew and Carroll.
Yeah, I am.
Because I think he can read the knockdowns. It's sort of similar to when we first signed Carroll and he had Vaz Tay buzzing around him. That worked well. Sort of similar players, Ayew and Vaz Tay, in that they play wide but come in. It's one I'm definitely looking forward to seeing.
Yeah. Was there any other?
Who plays up front on Saturday then for you?
Well, it's got to be Zaza.
Antonio started the last game, didn't he? Didn't really work.
It didn't work. I don't think Antonio will play striker again.
Toure injured now. He's no option, so Antonio really has to go out on the right wing.
Unless Feghouli plays.
Unless Feghouli starts and Antonio.
That's another weird one. I mean, Fegouli's a good player and he looked so good pre-season. But where's he gone?
But he's coming back from injury, to be fair.
Well, he was playing internationally.
He played against Accrington, didn't he? The first half and was shocking. Yeah. And then he played a bit of another game. So anyway, he was left on the bench when in the last game.
But he's a good player. He is a good player. He is a good player.
And he's a player that we actually own.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Summerslav's decisions have been very strange this season.
Has he played with Payet and Lanzini?
Feghouli, second half of West Brom.
Second half of West Brom.
Yeah. Well, he looked good, actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Get him playing with them two, and then see what happens. Because then you've got players on that level. Because I think Feghouli has got the ability to be that, not as good as Payet, no means. But definitely, in the pre-season, he was wonderful deliveries, could get past the man, and looked a lot fitter than Gokhan Tor did. So, yeah, I think I would start Feghouli, actually. Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Let's move on. Can I
just quickly say one thing? Thinking back to last season against Palace, and one of the things I loved was that they went down to 10 men and Bilic went, you know what, I am going for this. And he bought on Jelavic, he bought on Carroll, he bought on three. We ended up with 4 strikers on the pitch. Zarate was still there. Yeah, so he bought, maybe, I don't know, was he? I don't know. He bought on...
Zarate was still there.
Yeah, he bought on, we had 4 strikers on the pitch at the end, plus Lanzini, plus Payet, and he just absolutely went for it. And it sort of, thinking back to that earlier, sort of reminded me of what we can do.
Would he do that now?
I don't know. I'd like to think he's the same person. We haven't had that situation apart from Bournemouth, and to be fair, we went on and won the game, didn't we? Against 10 men.
Yeah, so let's move on to Palace, guys. I will do my preview later on. But, what do we think, guys? Again, if I say it every week, it's a massive game. It's a massive game, guys. It is. It's massive. And I don't think we've got a chance. I really don't. I think they're going to absolutely tuck us in.
I don't know. It's because of the international break. And I said this, I'm sure I said this last week, I don't know what it is about West Ham, however bad that we are, there's always that hope. So when it starts getting to near the game, especially because we've had an international break, there's been a week off. Now I'm thinking, yeah, we're going to win. Yeah, we're going to win. We're going to do really well. We're going to play really well. We probably won't. I think that international break has probably done Bilic a favour, to be honest, because it's took a lot of pressure off him.
Gives him a breather, doesn't it? Gives the squad a breather as well. Yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, James Tompkins will probably play against us for the first time. He's got to be right up for it, isn't he? He's got to be right up for it.
I'd like to see? I'd like to see us just go there and have a go. I'd rather see us, and this is sort of what we argued about Paul in the summer with the attack, sort of play well and lose thing. In fact, this is one game I want us to go and see it, just have a go and lose 3-0.
It's the Sam Allardyce thing. Don't set up to not lose. You set up to win. That's the main thing. As soon as you set up not to lose, once that plan goes wrong, you set up not to lose when you go 1-0 down.
Because you think back to the West Brom game, if we could defend, we would have won that game 3-0.
Yeah.
If we knew how to defend.
Yeah, if Payet's free kick would have went in, it's all, yeah. I just hate when we set up. You can tell what the idea is. You don't set up not to lose against Palace.
To be fair, we don't do that much under Bilic. There hasn't been many occasions.
What's wrong? We did, and against Watford we did.
What's
we packed the midfield out with their 5 midfielders and stuff like that. Why? Against Watford teams, why?
No, but Watford, like the first half, that was non-stop attacking football. That was fantastic.
The first half was brilliant.
Watford was, again, we didn't, because we should have played Nordvet. We didn't. That's why we conceded the goals. The only time I can honestly think we've gone into a game not looking was the Borough one, the last one, and
Borough definitely,
because we needed to be more solid, and that was the right thing to do. And then probably the Man City away game where we went 3 at the back, were the only two. I think slight injustice. I think to say that under Bilic. I mean, most games we've really gone and let it go.
I'll go more into it in preview, but I've got big fears of Christian Benteke backlash as well.
I put all the money you've got on him scoring.
So many people wanted him at West Ham, and we would have took him as backup, wouldn't we? But I know we was going, we don't want him. But now in hindsight, and even at the time, I wanted him. We should have.
We all said in this show I think we said we all thought that's the person we'd end up with. I think. If I remember
when the longer the window went on, the more we were saying, we'd be delighted with him, basically.
And how delighted would we be to have him now? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, And again, hindsight is wonderful, but there was a lot of negative opinion about him when that name was getting bandied about. You search his name and search West Ham, and I'd say there was 80% negativity around us signing him. Sorry,
but that was down to. There's two things. First of all, I think a lot of the backlash was stupid because, he's a good player. You don't become a bad player overnight just because he had a bad season at Liverpool. But our sights have been set so high by Sullivan that was seen as a step down, by the players we were linked with, and we'd been told we were going to sign this super amazing striker. I think that was a big part of it. If that hadn't happened, if Sullivan had never said we're going to sign this wonder striker, and we signed Benteke, I think 90% of the fan base would have been well happy with that.
I would have, definitely. It's like you say, once you get touted with, Lacazette's coming and it's all of a sudden Benteke's it's like a disappointment when, like you say, if we would have just got him, it would have been like, that's all right, that's good, solid signing that.
Thinking back to what you said about Cresswell, it kind of ups the opinion, in my opinion, to keep Ogbonna at left back for another game, just to give a bit more protection.
Let's go through it. What do you boys want? Adrian in goal, obviously. Yeah,
I think they keep Ogbonna because
I'd keep the same back four apart from Arbeloa.
Obviously.
So
sadly,
I think Collins played well. I think he deserves to keep his place.
I think the whole back four
Collins
played well.
And Reed. I do like Collins and Reed together.
Yeah, and then Ogbonna keeps his place as well on the left. I think I'd be happy with that. Yeah, I'd be very happy with that.
And there's like we said already, who starts up front? Then is Feghouli at right wing and Antonio up front, or is it Antonio right wing and Zaza up top?
The fact that he changed it at half time says to me he didn't think it was working.
It wasn't working.
No, so I'd be surprised if he did it. I mean, the other thing he could do is not play a striker.
Yeah,
and bring Lanzini in.
This just goes back to what I was saying a couple of minutes ago. We're changing it every week. We're changing every single week. How are we supposed to get settled as a side when we're changing every week? He needs to decide. He needs to say, I'm going to play Zaza, I'm going to stick with him, play him every week. That's what he needs to do. And then he needs to keep the same players around him so they can get some kind of...
Start reading these runs and reading...
Yeah, exactly. By changing it every week, no one's going to get used to playing with each other. Stick with Zaza up front. Stick with Pai. I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to play Lanzini this week? Is he going to drop him again? Who knows? Is he going to play Antonio on the wing? Is he going to play Feghouli on the wing? Is he going to play Antonio up front? Who knows?
Yeah, one thing I will say, if for me, should be a guaranteed starter for the next few weeks, is Obiang. Because I think he was excellent in the Middlesbrough game. He just, whenever he plays, the man does not do anything wrong. For
me, I mean, I've spoke highly about Mark Noble so many times on this podcast, but for me, if he's going to drop anyone, he needs to drop Noble because he keeps subbing him off at half time. And at 60 minutes, if you're going to keep bringing him off, don't start him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Obiang has to start. Obiang has to start on Saturday.
I think Obiang has to start. And I think Noble will start, and I think Kyoto will start. I think them three will play, regardless of whether we think they should or shouldn't. I think they will. Then ahead of that, Payet obviously starts, Antonio obviously starts, and then it's either Feghouli, Zaza. It's two out of Feghouli, Zaza, and Lanzini, isn't it? I think
Lanzini for me has to start. I can't believe we're
start as well.
The fact that
I
Lanzini's
think
been
it's Obiang,
benched is
Chiatti,
just...
Payet, Lanzini, Antonio, and then pick a name out of the up. Fletcher, Kaleri, or Zaza at the minute. I would like to see that as well, Obiang and Chiatti. I don't think, have we seen that before? Them two? Just them two with
No.
Probably not just those two.
Yeah, I would like to see that. Obiang's so tidy though. He's so tidy with the ball. He's always looking for.
This is such a bizarre situation because I've been saying this for ages. Why hasn't he started? Why hasn't he playing more games than he has?
When he's on the ball, he's very elegant. Yeah, that's it.
I don't know if Norvelt's fit either.
Yeah. Just one thing I did see in the news this morning, guys. I don't know whether you caught it. We're actually at 10-1, which is quite wide odds anyway. One of the favourite teams to be picking up Yaya Toure in January. I think one of you actually did mention this a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Picking up Yaya. Yes, no?
I don't think it's a position we need, to be honest. I don't think it's somewhere we need to buy players, but I'd definitely take him.
Lee?
I don't think you could turn him down, could you? I think it'd be on stupid wages, but
I don't think one of those. Anyway, I don't think he's come. He's going China or America for his retirement party. But
can I just ask a similar question? And again, it's hypothetical. So he'll never come to us. But if Rooney was on the table,
100%.
Yeah, I think you have to.
I
think you have to. I think he'll go back to Everton though. To be honest.
I'll tell you what as well. We need a leader on the pitch, and he's a leader on the pitch.
Yeah. He's a mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe 100%. He's had the last couple of days of things.
What do you make? Again, this one from the past actually. Of the Joey Barton stuff. I know it's sort of universal knowledge, that Joey Barton stuff about him saying that he was close to signing, he wanted to sign, and then the West Ham fans backlashed. Again, it's the sort of player we bloody need now, though, isn't it? No?
No.
What, someone like Joey Barton on the pitch?
No, not for me.
More trouble than he's worth.
Yeah, not for me.
I like Joey. I like his sort of character. I think they're the sort of ones the fans love. They're like having a Robbie Savage in there or someone like that.
Might as well have Nolan back.
Yeah, but they can move. Kev can't even move.
When was the last time you saw Joey Barton play?
I don't know. He was a good player for a couple of years. Yeah, so that's that. Anything else before I move on to questions? Was there anything else? Oh, ladies team. Yes, that was in the questions, but let's touch on that. Lee, you had your opinions last week on the ladies team, and I totally agree with you. We had no connections with the club apart from name, but yeah, it turns out now we do have a connection, guys, and we do own them now.
I think it's probably the right thing to do, I guess. Because it's sort of level with a lot of the other Premier League clubs. I guess it's the right thing to do. I said off air. I don't think we're doing TV. I said before we started filming that it's ironic that this has all come out when you look at their results of this season. Sort of a 10-0 loss to Tottenham sort of stood out, and there was a 6-0 or 4-0. They've had a shocking start, so it's amazing all of a sudden that chairman man, who again, his name I cannot for the life of me remember, like last week, all of a sudden wants rid, and indeed has got rid. So yeah, let's hope. In fact, the other point to make is they're pretty rubbish, the ladies' side. They're in like the second division. They get hammered every week, as I just said. But that may just because it's been under bad management from chairman down, and that might change now.
Yeah.
What do our female viewers think? That'd be good to hear.
That was actually Stacey's question, was our thoughts on the team taking over the ladies' club. So there's your answer. Okay, Andy Quinn. Bilic could be in for a rough ride. Will the owners give him for the rest of the season? If not, who's the successor? We sort of had a question like this last week. I don't think they'll give him the whole season. I think
it depends what happens.
I think they'll give him up to that Arsenal game, which is December the 3rd, and if the results are not any better, I think I can see him going.
You know, if we're cut adrift, I can see him going. But if we're in the situation where we are now, where it could go either way, like it was under Allardyce, I think they may stick with him, and I'd like them to stick with him personally. I don't like talking about other managers.
I don't want him to go.
I get the impression he'd walk away. I get the impression he's the kind of man that he would say it's not working, and he'd walk away.
With his West Ham connections as well, I think, yeah, you're right, Paul, that he's a sort that would go, look, I don't want to see West Ham like this, I'll go. It's not worked out for me. Successor, I don't know, we've touched on it. I wouldn't mind Roberto Mancini, I like him as a manager. But hopefully we don't see a successor, really. Adam Nichols, can't we just have an international break forever? I don't want to go back to face palming and sighing at Zaza.
Do you know, personally, in my opinion, I'd rather do that than sit through another international week. They are tedious. Nothing. Yeah, exactly. I much prefer the depression of West Ham losing to having to watch England.
I agree. I've got no interest whatsoever. No interest in England. I hate the international break. It makes my weekends so boring.
Makes betting boring.
As much as I hate watching West Ham lose, I'd rather watch West Ham than not watch them at all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Adam Nichols, same guy. If Andy Carroll gets injured again, he returns. Do you think it's time to move him on? It is, but who's going to buy him?
That's it. Yeah.
No one knows.
He's got 2 years left on his contract.
Yeah.
He'll be here till that runs out, and then he'll be on his way. Or what will probably happen is he'll be here for the last 2 years. In the last year of his contract, he'll score 10 goals in the last 5 weeks, and then we'll sign him on another 5-year deal, and that's it. We'll never see him again.
Yeah. Or he'll go to a promoted Newcastle by then and bang in 25 goals.
Yeah, he won't be injured again.
Yeah, that's it. SB regular. Do you think Oxford signs a new deal with us or goes elsewhere? Doesn't seem to be getting any minutes anytime soon. Good question.
I think he'll probably be on his way. As much as I hate that, and I really, really want us to keep hold of him, the way we're playing at the minute, he's going to have good offers from big clubs. Why would he want to stay? And we're not playing him. I'm sure he was told at the start of the season. He was told in the summer, you're going to get more game time. Yeah, but then he couldn't even get a game against Akron and Stanley. So
that was a weird one. But
because we thought he was dropped to play, didn't we?
Yeah, but then he didn't. So
that was weird. And the second leg of the Astra game as well, because he played well in the first leg away, and then didn't play in the second. It was strange. The other thing I'd say though, he must have gone into the season knowing he was fourth choice, regardless of how bad he'd been playing. He must have known that he was fourth choice centre half. Bilic must have said to him, "You'll get some more time, but you're fourth choice centre half."
Yeah, but I'm sure. I don't think he would have said to him, "You're fourth choice." He would have said to him, "You're going to get a chance to prove yourself. You're going to get a chance to force your way in." He hasn't been given that chance.
Or he's not doing it in training. Possible. We don't know what goes on behind the doors.
Obviously, we don't know. We don't know. It is possible.
No.
What I don't like about him is all this stuff he puts out on Twitter, like, Mans is going to be a dreamer and whatever you, all that business. Stop doing all that. Just get your head down and play football.
What do you mean? I haven't seen any of this.
No, I get the impression that, again, I'm not a 16-year-old with a ridiculous earning about $6,000 a week, but I get the impression that he already thinks he's made it.
Yeah, like he puts things out. I think before a couple of games, he's like, "Watch me set on fire," or something stupid like that. And it's like, just get your head down and play football.
Yeah, but he's a 17-year-old kid. So what? Who cares?
Yeah, but you choose a life. You choose the football life.
Yeah, but I think I agree with Lee. Like that sort of stuff, putting that out can be perceived by an older fan, like past 35, say, as like, you're a proper flash so and so without swearing. Do you know what I mean? Like what you like.
So would I be. If I was him, I would be annoyed. Especially if you're being told by the people around you that you're one of the biggest prospects in the country.
He should be protected from that, no?
Well, that's
social media.
It's what happens, and it's probably agents as well. And he got the same agent as Sterling. So I'm sure I read that. So his agent's probably in his ear telling him, "Listen, you're one of the best prospects in the country. You should be playing every week. You could be playing for Man City." Like, obviously, that's going to inflate his ego. He's just a kid, I can't. And like putting stupid stuff on Twitter. So what? Who cares? We all said, and like Twitter didn't exist when we were that age, but we all said and did stupid stuff when we were young. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what? Who cares?
Public eye.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you choose the football as a career, you're in the public eye. You're a role model to younger people, and basically sulking is what he's essentially doing with these things, and being arrogant and saying, "I should be in the squad. I'm better than these professionals."
Has he actually said that though? I haven't seen him say that.
Reading between the lines, you get the impression. Have a look at his Instagram and his Twitter. It's all like slogans and.
Well, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a look tonight and have a look and see, and then I'll let you know what I think. because I haven't seen it. So,
right, the three-legged lamb. What a great name.
Is he a relation of us?
Possibly. When fit, and going by his Swansea form, I do think Andre Ayew will be our most important striker. What do you think?
Yeah, if he comes back from injury the same, because it is a bad injury, then yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, what other dangerous goal scorers have we got in a minute?
Yeah, that's right.
That was such bad luck losing him against Chelsea.
Yeah.
It is our luck, though. It is our luck. And that's the problem. Right, guys, so that question that I said a few, 20 minutes ago about, I couldn't remember who asked the question. It was Gio, actually, from Hamish Chat. Thanks for that one. So I hope you've sort of got the answer there. Your question was the one about Sam Allardyce signings coming back. Just touch on that again. Yeah, I do agree that it is a bit sad that we are relying on Sam Allardyce level players to kickstart us. Again, what you said, Paul, about the transfers, it just shows how poor the transfers were, no? Yeah, Lee?
Well, no, I don't agree. I think Cresswell is an outstanding player, and doesn't matter who signed him. We're relying on him because he's an outstanding player, regardless of who signed him.
No, I do agree with that.
So, I don't agree.
Adam Nichols, again, is it time to look at getting a better midfielder to replace Mark Noble? We discussed this week after week after week, and yes, it is. For me, I think Mark's done what he can. He's the wrong side of 25 now, and he's not progressed. If you watch my sad video, just going to plug that, I said that when Mark burst onto the scene, he was attacking, exciting, goal-scoring midfielder, and he just hasn't progressed.
But you know what? 12 games ago, he was fantastic. He was brilliant last season. So how can you write him off when the entire team's been bad this year? That's like saying, is it time to buy a new player to replace Adrian, to buy a new player to replace Reed, to buy a new player to replace anybody in our team at the minute?
Yeah, but I think Mark Noble has been very bad. Very bad.
Has he been worse than anybody else? No, not for me. Has he been worse than Kouyaté?
He destroys our gameplay.
Has he been worse than Kouyaté?
Do you know, last season...
Czech's got something in him.
No.
Do you know,
I think it's very unfair.
It isn't because, and I think I've said this before, last season he played above himself. He was outstanding last season. Season before that, he was shocking. Season before that, he was shocking. Last season,
Championship,
people aren't going to like this.
Level.
Playing the Championship, I can't even remember much what he did. He scored a few goals. I don't think he was particularly, he didn't get into the team of the year, for example, in the Championship. He wasn't a hammer of the year, I don't think, that year. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe he was, but I don't think he was.
We weren't great in general that year.
We weren't great in general, but neither was he. And people aren't going to like to hear this because he's a local lad and he's a driving force, blah, 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 blah. But last season was standout. He was outstanding last season, and I think a lot of that was the emotion of the stadium move, etc. And I think a lot of that may have drained him this year, and I've said that before here and all. So actually, I get what you're saying, Paul, but I think last season was the best he's had.
All right, that's a fair enough point. You know, that's a fair point. That's fair enough. But I do still think I think it's very unfair to single him out this year. I think that's so unfair. I know he's the captain, so maybe it kind of does fall on his shoulders a bit more than the other players. And he hasn't been good. I'm not saying he has been. You know, he's been terrible this season. But I don't think he's been any worse. I don't think he's been the standout worst player in the team. Do you know what I mean? And I do think it's unfair to single him out, especially when we're playing so bad. If the rest of the team were playing well and he was the one holding us back every week and you could point to him and say Noble's the problem, then yeah, I'd agree. But I don't think it's fair at the moment to be singling him out.
Do you know, the other thing I'd say is take out his 5 penalties a year, you lose, 15 points. If they turn into wins. He's an outstanding penalty taker. No?
Yeah.
You know my opinions of Mark. They changed last year.
No, but specifically his penalties.
I'm sure there's someone else who can take a penalty.
No, but his record is probably the best in Europe.
So it should be. It's not hard to take a penalty from 12.
Then why have other people got such a good record?
Well, they have. Look, Balotelli has. Is he a good player anymore?
Well, he's doing alright. He's the top of the league, isn't he, in France?
Yeah, that's a crap team.
But they're top of the league in France.
I don't read much into penalty records. I don't. Andrew Johnson scored 12 penalties.
It takes a bit of bottle, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, I don't read much into penalties. I don't. Yeah, I agree it takes bottle, but no. I think anyone should be able to put a penalty in. It's just
but they don't, is the point.
Yeah, but anyone should be able to.
But they don't. That's the point.
But Lanzini can bang a penalty, I reckon. I reckon Cresswell could bang a penalty.
But they don't.
Yeah, because they haven't been able to take them.
But Ronaldo misses on a regular basis. Messi misses on a regular basis.
So what?
Best players in the world.
Mark Noble's penalties, let's keep him in because we might get
I'm not
penalties.
Saying that. I'm not saying.
We went a whole season nearly getting no penalties last year. So
you said everyone should be able to put a penalty away. I'm saying they don't.
15 points. We only got about 2 penalties last year.
I said about 15 points.
So I don't care, Mark. See you later with your penalties, mate. Bye. He's not Julian Dix. Julian Dix
still haven't answered my question.
And was influential.
You still haven't answered my question.
Where's the influentialness from the penalties? So he takes a penalty, but what else? Julian Dix took penalties and was influential
last season. Luke, you know my opinion. I agree with you that he shouldn't be in the team.
I'm just saying, penalties. So what?
No.
Someone else can take a penalty. Someone else can take a penalty, as long as it's not Zaza. Don't let Zaza take them. But no, Mark Noble for penalties. Go away. I can't. No. And backlash me all you want, West Ham fans. Throw your claret and blue sunglasses at me. I'll put on me proper.
That's irrelevant. Claret and blue. The record speaks for itself. He has the best penalty record in Europe.
Again, Matthew Letizia, great penalty record, influential. Mark Noble, great penalty record, not influential.
This season, so far, last season he was.
No.
Come on, he drove us last season.
No, he was good last year, but not. Dimitri Payet influential, Lanzini influential.
Be careful, Lee. He might start deleting videos again.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying. No, there's nothing influential from him for me that keeps him in the team. Oh, I can pass backwards to Winston and have a 100% passing record. Are we going to throw that one in as well?
No, but you know my opinion. You know I agree with you about that.
As well?
Why are you saying that when you know I agree with you on that point?
You
know I agree with you on that point that he passes back. But I didn't get that.
You're trying to say keep him in the team for the penalty record.
No, I'm not.
So what's the point about the penalties then?
I'm saying that's one factor to consider.
Yeah, but I don't think it is a factor. I think it's crap. I think it doesn't mean you should stay in the team because you can take a penalty.
I didn't say that.
Matt Taylor could take a very good free kick. Should we keep him in the team?
He didn't for West Ham.
No, but I'm just saying, fantastic free kick record. He used to bang free kicks in for fun for Portsmouth. Do we keep him in? Oh, he might score one free kick.
He doesn't play for us anymore.
I'm just saying, in terms of if you're going on stats of set pieces. If you're going on set piece stats, like, I don't know. Jump on me, I don't care. I don't like Mark Noble. There you go. Keep that in.
And why did you delete your video?
Yeah.
Delete my video because last year he did play well. And I did change my opinion. But there you go. 38 games. Yeah, you did well last year. I would play well if I supported West Ham and it was the last season at Upton Park. I'm sorry, guys. I'm back on the... I don't like Mike Noble. There you go. Jump on me. You'll probably have guys going there. I'm unsubscribing. Go on then.
You finished?
Yeah.
What's the next question then?
Sorry.
So hang on. So just what's your opinion of Mark Noble?
I don't. There you go. Don't like him. And it's funny what with the Mark thing. Just carrying it on, guys. It's funny that somehow on the social media it comes out that he's liked, but in the stadium when you're there, Lee, please agree with me. Yeah. Do you not get the feeling that Mark Noble is slagged off something rotten in the stadium? Like, no, people are seeing it in the stadium. People do see it. People go, oh, another bloody backwards pass, another sideways pass. Oh, he slowed the play down again.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It does.
It's true. I don't know where it comes from, this. I don't know.
I do.
Move on, because it just winds me up. I don't know.
I do get what you said as well, though, Paul, is he's been as bad as the rest of them.
Yeah, no, and I will agree with that. And
it is unfair just to say he's the only one that should be sold.
He should be dropped.
So should after team.
Yeah, but he definitely should be dropped.
So should after team. So should Chiati.
Yeah, drop check then. Drop check.
Yeah, so there you go. I'm just saying it's not fair to single him out. I'm not saying. I'm not saying that Noble should be playing every week. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks on this podcast that they should drop both of them. Yeah. You know, but I'm just saying. I think it's unfair to single him out.
We should get this guy on, whoever had that done.
Yeah.
And get him to give a counter argument because he obviously loves him.
Yeah.
I don't know who that was, but
no.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway.
Next question. Who asked that question?
Adam Nichols.
Adam, look what you done, Adam.
Yeah.
Look what you done. That's it. 3 hours is finished.
Yeah.
Adam Nichols, if you get bored watching this, he turned it into a 45-minute show when it should have only been 20.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
Chris Close. What do you guys feel about the violence at recent home games?
I blame Mark Noble.
Yeah, it's his fault, isn't it? Yeah. Definitely.
It's terrible. It's terrible, the violence. I don't approve it at all. As Lee says, if you want to have a drink and have a fight, go somewhere else. It's just not right. It's not right.
It isn't right, and it has been blown out of all proportion. I think Presser after a bad
news for Feghouli. It was.
It was, but there were less arrests there than there were at Chelsea, like I said last week.
Yeah. I think it's just...
Do you know what I did find interesting? Did you read the minutes of the supporter advisory board?
No. Can you...
Did they meet again? I thought that was all confidential.
No, there were 4 minutes on the official website, so you can see them on there. I advise you to read them because it does dispel some myths. One in particular is that I know it's a bigger stadium, blah, 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 but there was like triple the amount of police at the Watford game versus what there was at Upton Park, considering that was a horrible place to go for an away fan with all sort of the quiet turns of things. So some misconceptions that are really...
Where were they hiding?
Well, they were there. That's what it says.
There were a lot of coppers. There were.
Yeah.
On the island, there was a lot.
For Watford?
Yeah.
The other thing as well is saying that the club don't respond to fans, etc., etc., etc. They are scrapping the premium rate phone number, so that's happening as well.
Good for them.
So no, it's a good thing, though, isn't it?
It was a bad thing it even happened in the first place, but yeah.
Of course it is, but it's a thing. So that's being scrapped. And if you read it, you see a group of people trying to make a difference, and I advise you to read them.
I will do. Yeah, I'll be interested to read that.
I will do. Yeah. Last question to end on a nice note after our little tiffs again. David Goodson, should we have a statue of Colton Cole outside the Fishbowl Stadium?
Obviously, why wouldn't you? I think we should have one like suspended from the roof above the pitch at all times.
Floats around. And the smoke comes out of his head.
With a halo and wings looking down on us, like looking down on the pitch. I think there's still no sponsor for the stadium. Why don't they just call it the Colton Cole Stadium?
Yeah. I totally agree.
Let's start a petition. I want it to be called the Colton Cole Stadium.
Colton Cole.
With his face.
I think he does deserve a stadium, don't you?
Mark Noble.
Yeah.
Wait, listen. He's going to have a stand named after him one day.
Yeah, and then Billy Bonds won't get nothing. There we go. Billy Bonds, again, influential. There's the key word. Guys, leave as many comments as you want. If you want to lay into me, I really don't care because that's my opinion on Mark Noble. These guys have their opinions on players, and we've read Paul's opinions on Andy Carroll. I'm sure you've seen him and Lee row over Andy Carroll in the past, and that's just my opinions of Mark Noble.
Andy Carroll's my favourite
player. Guys, please check out...
There with Frank Lampard.
Sorry?
I said he's up there with Frank Lampard.
Let's not push it.
Please check out West Ham Fan Zone, guys. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, obviously, if you like it. If you dislike, leave some dislikes. It's totally up to you. If you dislike, though, leave some comments. Let us know what you think about Mark Noble. Should we replace Mark Noble? Do you think Izzy is influential? A lot of you guys say he makes these amazing runs off the ball. I've never seen him, but maybe you have. Maybe you can get me a video highlight and tell me to shut up. We'll see. Please check out my sad moments, guys. Actually, Mark Noble gets a nice mention in that video. I said that his tears won the West Ham fans over.
Lee will be back with
I hope with a happy video.
5 happiest moments, just to balance it out.
And Paul's going to make, I believe, something about goals.
Yeah, I'm going to do top 10 goals, top 10 Premier League goals for West Ham.
Yeah. If there's anything you can think of, guys, that you want to see, top 5s, top 10s, let us know. It don't even have to be West Ham related. It could be, I don't know, our top 5 Premier League players that we've seen, top 5 Premier League goals against us. It could be the top 5 teams that we like around the world. It could be even our top 5 movies. Who knows? let us know if you want to know a bit more about us and stuff. Come on, you irons. Keep Keep believing. Let's go.
Cheers.